So crushing your competition. First of all, Kristen, so I'm talking with Kristen Simpson here. So first of all, Kristen, crushing your competition. I don't know that I want to crush my competition, right? Like that sounds like,
That's a
I don't
visual
know.
for you, right?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I mean, they're trying too, right? I just want to get my fair share, which I think last month was 372, I think it was.
Hey, Carl, I have a
Uh,
news
the, the,
flash for you. You are crushing your competition.
no, 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 we're not. We're not. Um, and we were talking in the green room a little bit. In fact, like, we'll make that our topic. So we'll call this crushing your competition with a question mark, because I think the competition is actually something different than what most people might be thinking of. And
Mhm.
it kind of goes back to that post that you were talking about that you saw in that Facebook group.
Mhm. Yeah, so I read something that resonated with me. It just made me stop dead in my tracks, and I read it a couple times, and I put it in the Facebook group, and it seemed to resonate with a lot of other people. So, do you want to hear it?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, so your competition isn't other people.
Hmm.
If I said to you right now, Carl, who is your competition? Like, if I just said, "Hey, Carl, who's your biggest competition?"
Well, I was going to rip off some names, but now
I
I'm
think most
you
people.
know yeah,
I think.
maybe. So you got me thinking. So tell me if it's not, and I'm just going to make up a name here. It's not
Okay.
branch manager Bob or
Okay.
branch manager Lisa. Who
Mhm.
is it? Who
All
is
right.
it?
Your competition is your procrastination, your
Hmm.
negative thoughts, your comfort zone. Compete against that. The obstacles you face are not external, they are the doubts and fears that hold you back from achieving your full potential. The only person you need to beat is the person you were yesterday. Success will be undeniable.
Hmm. All right. So wait. So procrastination,
Uh-huh.
negative thoughts, and what was the other one?
Comfort zone.
Comfort zone. All right. So let's talk about those a little bit. Procrastination. The one thing.
I heard you call it fixing to get ready. Were you about to say that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the enemy of business. Is I'm getting ready to get ready.
Mm.
Um. So one thing. Trying to think of a cool way to say this. So one thing that I'm kind of known for in the circles that I run in, so I belong to some high level mastermind groups that are not industry related necessarily. Well, they're not industry related. And what I'm known for in these groups is I'll hear an idea and then I'll implement an idea. But what I'm known for is eliminating that time in between those two.
Mm.
So the person that hears an idea and then implements that idea and has that happened is the shortest time possible is the person that makes all the money. But I think there's a couple things that we need to talk about that. So I've also found, Kristen, that if I'm procrastinating something, maybe I just identified something that I I shouldn't be doing, that I ought to be delegating out to somebody else.
Mm.
So in my case, let's talk about like the CRM.
Okay.
All right, the CRM has literally made me tens of millions of dollars, like literally tens of millions of dollars from my CRMs that we have, and thankfully, one of our other partners, who is one of the founders of the company, along with me, Diane,
Mm.
is amazing at the CRMs,
She is.
and that has done us really well. And so for me, instead of me sitting down and figuring out the CRM, and I'm not going to, sit here and play super humble. Well, I could never figure it out. Of course, I could figure it out, as anybody else could. It would just take me a lot longer than maybe you, or a lot longer than maybe Diane to do it. And so when I got my first CRM, I was probably 3 years in the business before I got it. Or let me rephrase that. I got it about a year after I got in the business. It sat in the box, not opened, for about two. True
Mm.
story, for about 2 years. And then Diane came on board with me. So maybe it was 1 year. Then Diane came on board with me, and almost immediately we took it out of the box. She took it out of the box and put it together. And so my job was to put people in that thing. And then her job was to turn on the on switch and get them loaded up into it and start the campaigns, right? And then it would spit me out a list every morning. Here, Carl, call these people. And so I'd show up at the office, and there's my computer. On my computer is a little piece of paper. On that paper, call these people. Wildly successful, right?
Mhm.
Wildly successful. So I procrastinated putting up that CRM, not because I'm lazy, because I'm not because I'm stupid, because I'm not. That particular thing just wasn't something that I'm best at. And so I delegated it out.
Or that you like
Now,
to. I mean, I don't, yeah. If you don't
and
like
now,
something, you're,
yeah, and I would say Diane,
yeah,
if I could speak on her behalf, might have been procrastinating on calling the people because that's
right.
not her favorite thing that I seem to have a knack for. And so she would give me a list to call on. I'd call on them. And then I'd do my Thor's hammer for the real estate agents, which is super easy. It always works. And I added more real estate agents into the CRM. She had the CRM marketing to more people. I got more people to call. We got more leads going on. And fast forward today, we close hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of loans. Our team does, collectively, of course,
Mhm.
each and every month. And so procrastination can be an indication of something that needs to be farmed out. Or or I don't know enough yet that I don't feel comfortable doing it, which I know we're going to talk about that in a minute. That's number three. Because, like you say, hey, Carl, you're procrastinating marketing to real estate agents. Look, if I don't know what to say, if I don't know what my value add is, like that's a real thing.
Very real thing.
And so I'm putting it off because frankly, I don't know enough. So you have to find a really quick way to help somebody bring me up to speed on what to say and who to say it to and how to get referrals from those people that close at about 25%, right? One out of four. So that when I'm getting even just say one, maybe two referrals a day, that normally results in somewhere between 10 and 15 closings for the month, which would be somewhere between, depending upon how much money you're making per loan, 30 to $50,000 per month, right? So just getting 1 to 2 referrals per day. So anyway, that procrastination. So I think it's either A, farm it out, or B, find somebody that can bring you up to speed very, very quickly so you can stop procrastinating. Because you're right, procrastination is a huge money suck,
Mhm.
like huge. So I like that one.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next.
What was the next one?
All right. Negative thoughts.
So tell me about that.
Well, I've heard you talk about, I've been at boot camp in Clearwater, Florida, and I've heard you talk about the little guy.
Yeah, I think
That's that
I think
recording in our head, you know, with,
I think Kristen. I think who we hang out with. I think we all know it's important. I don't think we necessarily know just how important that is.
Mhm.
And so, for you, Miss Kristen, I love hanging out with you. You're just a really great person.
Oh,
You're
ditto.
you're smart. You're kind. You're generous with your time. You're empathetic. You're non-judgmental. And you find a positive way to put a spin on things because that is just who you are as a person. And so when I do these podcasts with you, when I hang out here in the office, we're different offices, but like when we're doing Zoom meetings, we hang out. When we do our events and you're there, it's a really good thing for me. I hang out with Steve, very positive person, Kevin Gillespie, our Diane, Chris Johnstone, like all these different people that we hang out with. Like we don't have Eeyores in our office,
No,
right?
so
If one slips by, as soon as we identify that that's an Eeyore, they're probably not going to be happy here because we're all on a positive note and great things are happening. And Eeyores prefer to be around things that aren't working out so well because that's just their nature. And so for me, it's hanging out with the right people, flying in the right flock. Like when we do our call stars and we're all making our calls together, that's a very powerful thing. I think what I listen to is super important. So I'm a podcast fanatic. I only listen to positive ones. And so, of course, this one, right? Like, I have to say that. But like, yeah, listen to positive stuff and positive people. Like, I'm not going to go on to the political podcast or the doomsday podcast or, I know there's a lot of murder podcasts of solving murder. It's just not good for me, right? I'm more of a puppy dogs, unicorns, and rainbows. So I want to hear about successes. I want to hear about people overcoming challenges. I listen to a lot of autobiographies of great people. So that's a very powerful thing to me. So yeah, so negative thoughts, man, I can slip there real quick, and when I do, it's because I'm not hanging out with or I'm not listening to the right people. So
Right.
if I'm hanging out with you, I can't have a negative thought because you're a ray of sunshine, right? You're bright. I mentioned it before we hit the record button. You're chippery, right? Is that a word? Chippery?
I mean, I've been called a lot of things on this podcast. Chippery's a new one. I'm usually a coach
Chippery.
or
So chippery is like somebody that's I don't know, chipper.
I, I'm usually in a good mood for sure.
Yeah, energetic. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I think hang out with the right people. I think and at work, like if I got people in the work, oh, did you see what the feds did? And oh, nobody's
So
buying a house. Like, get away from those people, right? They're just absolutely poison. So the third one, what was the
comfort.
third? So tell me about that.
Wow. I mean, if we want different, we have to do different.
Mm,
And
tell me
so
about that.
for a lot of people, that's and I have this conversation a lot. Okay, so that's where we want to be. Well, what are we going to do different? Because we can't expect to just do the same thing we're doing. That's the definition of insanity, right? Do the same
Mm,
thing over and over again, but yet I expect a different outcome. I have to do something different. And for a lot of people, that can be stepping out of their comfort zone, learning something new, finding a better way. Are you open to a better way?
mm, I like that. But if I'm hanging out with positive, this kind of almost goes back to number two. That
Mhm.
if I'm hanging out with positive people like yourself, and I'm listening to positive things on the podcast, I'm on call stars where people are talking about, hey, I'm prospecting and winning. Um, it's easier to like my comfort zone suddenly gets much larger what I'm comfortable with because I'm hanging out with the right people and
Yeah.
I know what to say and I know the rebuttals. So a lot of times I think the comfort zone is I haven't been trained in how
Mhm.
to do something, and it's like, hey, Carl, I want you to, I don't know, ride a unicycle. I don't have a big comfort. I've never been trained. Now, if you show me how, I feel a little bit more comfortable in giving it a whirl, right? So I think that yeah, I think you know what it is on a lot of these things. I think I'm looking at these three things here. I think we need to cut ourselves a little bit of a break, Kristen.
Okay.
You know, I think like on the procrastination, maybe it's something that I need help with, and maybe it's not my fault that I'm procrastinating. I just need some help. And on the negative thoughts, it's not that I have negative thoughts. Maybe I'm just hanging out with people that have negative thoughts. I'm reading negative thoughts and I absorb those. I know for me, if I go hang out in Boston for a couple weeks, I start pocking my caw, right? Or however they say it. I start picking up the lingo very rapidly. I'm like a sponge. I'm who I hang out with. And so if I'm hanging out with positive people, then the negative thoughts don't come around so much. And on the comfort zone, again, if I haven't been trained how to do something, I'm going to be a little uncomfortable. And so
Right.
I just need to don't cut myself a break and just go learn how to do it, right? And go hang out with somebody that's already doing it successful. And then that helps me with my comfort zone, and I won't have the negative thoughts because you showed me how to do it, and now I think I can do this now. And now that eliminates my procrastination too because I think I can do it. Or you showed me who to hand that particular activity off to, or what the top producers, who's doing what. Once I know that, then it's like, well, no wonder I've been procrastinating that. I shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. I should have had Sarah or Bob in the office doing that, not me. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of these things is just kind of a clarity on, you know, show me the right way or lead me in the right direction. Does that make sense?
No, it totally does. And it might not even be comfort zone or procrastination or negative thoughts. It might just be, I didn't know how to do it.
So I think we need to cut ourselves a little bit of a break, honest to gosh. So, all right, if I want to know how do I do some of these things, if we go to getmoreloans.com, and if the stars are all in alignment, you might have the chance of talking to the wonderful Miss Kristen. So either myself or Kristen or one of our partners will walk you through this stuff. So getmoreloans.com, and we're going to walk you through here that for this time of year, what are the very specific activities that we see working best for the loan officers, and we'll kind of walk you through exactly how to do those things. And a lot of times it's a lot easier than what you think it is. Getmoreloans.com, getmoreloans.com. You can thank me on the call. It's something that we give away for free. And some of those people will go on that call and go, man, this is awesome. Can we do this more often? We can talk about that. And some of you will go, hey, got everything I need on this call? Totally cool. That's how this works. So either way, getmoreloans.com. Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you, Carl.